Do you know to be a worrywart? Someone who just can easily go down the rabbit hole of wondering, oh my God, what has happened or what will happen, and then spiral more and more out of control until anything around you doesn't matter anymore. And the only thing that matters is that what you worry about. And I've been working on myself for a long time, since I was 18 years old. That's quite a while ago. And the older I get, I realize I probably will never be done. I'm just going to continue to find things that, whoa, where did this come from? Things that I need to improve, things that I can also see are something that I believe are little blind spots that need to be addressed. And one of those blind spots is certainly the worry. Now, when you worry, it's obviously not something you don't see. It's pretty much in your face. But who likes to admit that they do also have this obsessive worrying at times? And that's certainly something I experienced a few months ago when we were on one of our hiking vacations. And, I have installed a camera for our horses so that I can see how they are doing. And you could say, well, just having a camera in itself, isn't that already a sign that you worry? And you're probably right. But I lost a horse a year ago, to a colleague, and I wish I would have seen earlier the signs because I wasn't there. And so, it's just something that gives me a sense of control. And I guess that sense of control is something that is like a counteracting force to worrying. It's not ideal, but sometimes it's the best we can do. But what I found on this camera on that day was that there was a big blue tarp that was covering a big something on the field where the horses were. And my worry mind jumped immediately into, well, obviously that's a dead horse. It's probably a dead pony. Our pony is older, and so maybe this is really what happened overnight. And our friend who does, take care of the horses when we're not there, she probably found it dead. And that's when your mind can really create all these fictional stories. But what I felt was that the worry, was that really true, wanted to have an immediate answer. It wanted to have certainty. And so I called my friend, I texted her, and she wasn't available, or she had turned her phone off or whatever. I just couldn't get a hold of her. And the longer that lasted, the bigger my thoughts and my worries became. And then I realized that, whoa, okay, so I need to go into my toolbox. It's pretty big in the meantime, and pull out the things that really work best for worrying. And here are the three things that I find are really, really effective. The number one thing is that we have to learn to become comfortable with not knowing, with uncertainty. And that's something that you don't want to learn when you worry. You want to learn when you just have a little bit of uneasiness around a topic. Let's say you're texting someone and you don't get an answer. Not about something is like, is there a dead horse in the field, but maybe something, hey, do you want to meet this weekend? And there's no answer. And just being okay that there is no answer and that you are not certain whether this friend has time or not. That's something to really practice. Or you are, maybe at work having to, address an issue, and you don't really know how to do it. You're looking for different ways and you're asking different people, but you haven't yet found the solution, and just being okay with it. And just going into this mindset that I will find out when I have all the information that I need. I will find out when it's the right time. That trust, that layer of confidence, that is something that's going to help you when you worry and when you don't have certainty, because you do have already built this muscle of being okay when you don't know. We are so spoiled, the more technology is taking over, the more we want instant gratification. We want to buy something, we're looking on the internet, we are clicking the shop now, and then tomorrow we want to have it, because usually that's what happens. And if there is a delay, we are very uncomfortable with that. And that's a part of what I feel worry has like an addictive component to it, because when we do worry and then afterwards get this satisfaction, this gratification of relief, that feels so good. The contrast is so strong that it is a form of, wow, that's an intense, great feeling. I want more of that. And our mind may just say, oh, I know when we worry a lot, we feel much better afterwards. So let's just go through this loop again and again. And so we have to see also the worry as something we can get accustomed to. And we have to have, and that's the second tool, much better boundaries with worry. Give your worry a limit, 10 minutes max, and then really go back to the present moment. On that hike, I had this beautiful company with me, my wife and these friends, and it was an amazing landscape and a Sunday morning, and nothing really was wrong where I was, just in my mind, bad things were happening. And so bringing myself back, that's a great thing about hiking, one step at a time, looking around, listening to the conversations, it certainly helped. And the mind needs distractions. We know this from pain. When people have pain, and then there is, something that catches their attention. There is this, playing video game, for example. There were studies that showed when people had a lot of pain and then they were shifting their attention to a video game, the pain decreased because the brain couldn't really handle so much information. So whatever you choose to make this brain of yours or your mind focus on, well, ultimately that's what it's gonna process. And there is only a limited amount of processing power available. And that's why when you go into the present moment and really take it all in, also with your senses, the smell, the feel, the sound, then certainly your mind will be just occupied with that. And then the third aspect of helping you to worry less is using an affirmation that is grounded in experience. We all have been around the block, some longer than others, but we have been around the block and we know certain things about life. For example, that it's not always fun and games. Stuff happens, and often things happen that we don't want to happen. Accidents or loss, or these unforeseeable changes, and we had to deal with them, and we had to somehow overcome the fear or that that grief or pain, and we did it. Time was not only healing, but also we were healing. We were learning to adapt. We were growing beyond those challenges and became, stronger and more resilient because of it. And so if you have an affirmation such as, I believe or I trust that whatever life brings me, I can handle, and I release the need of control or needing to have certainty because I know I am resilient and I find a way to overcome challenges or deal with even unwanted situations. I mean, you can make it shorter, but the point is create an affirmation that you really know is true. Remind yourself that the strength, that the comfort is not outside of you by having everything, be the way you want it to be, but the strength and the comfort and the peace are inside of you because you know that you have these abilities to, again, deal and overcome whatever challenges you're dealing with. And that is the resilience that I think we all have naturally, but we all can certainly create more of and strengthen. And just a side note, there are two great videos, podcasts that I have on my YouTube channel. So sign up for it, please, because there's a lot of information about how to make yourself more resilient. So the 3 steps again to worry less: get comfortable with uncertainty, Bring yourself back in the present moment and remind yourself of your resilience. Remind yourself that you can trust in being okay, even though things may not be exactly the way you want them to be. It does help your mind to just focus less on whatever is happening outside of you, to have the sense of control and focus more on what you choose to focus on, which is usually, your path, your journey, whatever you want to put your energy in. Because in the end, worry is frequently a waste of time and a waste of energy. Just as a side note, it wasn't a pony, by the way. It was a bale of hay that my friend wasn't able to transport with a tractor because a tractor was breaking down. So they were rolling the hay on the field. And so that the horses were not eating from it all the time, they were covering it with the tarp. So everything was fine. The pony is still happy and alive. And my mind is a little bit calmer now that I was also reminding myself of how to worry less and how to trust more. Hi, Dr. Friedemann here. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning more about fear and anxiety, here you'll find guided meditations, webinars, and interviews with some of the most renowned experts in the field of empowerment. Delve into the over 230 videos and more to come every week.